Bottom line with heads up, when you're on the button on the small blind, you could literally raise anything except 410 unsuited, a little bit you don't raise. Deuce jack unsuited, deuce jack and 410 are the cutoff, so 310. But even 3-5 you do it, you raise. 4-6 you raise, even unsuited. The only thing is deuce you don't, but deuce deuce you do. And deuce jack you do, but the rest of the deuces you don't. That's the only corner. And 7 deuce suited you don't. So over here, obvious raise, and then he calls from the big blind in heads up, and then player 2 checks, and I should bet this ace high board. So I bet 1.8, which is 0.3 pots, but Snowy says 1 pot bet is the optimal raise size. Okay, let's look at the hand strength. If I bet 1 pot and he calls, I have a very weak hand, obviously, 0.26. Okay, so I have a weak hand. Go ahead and bet. So he calls the 1.8. Snowy says I should make a pot size bet on the ace high board. Now the turn comes a 9. Player 2 checks. So what should player 1 do? I check because I have showdown value. So the turn went check check. So once it goes check check, I'm thinking he could be trapping me, but he's also got a lot of draws. So now player 2 bets almost the whole pot. And Snowy says I should call this 768. I should call on the river because the draw missed, but a backdoor flush did hit. So anyways, there's a lot more bluffs maybe. There's quite a bit of bluffs in the 786, 768. Let's see. Maybe there was a 2 pot size bet. That's interesting. Snowy says even if it was a 2 pot size bet, or $16, I should still call 72% of the time. And they're close in EV, $0 in EV. So I should call some of the time, or most of the time, even with 2 pot size bet. Okay, let's go back to the previous scenario by closing this one. Okay, the previous scenario was a EV of 14 cents, 0.14 big blinds by calling there. Okay. Whereas if this was 2 pot size bet and I call, it'd be 0 EV, so it'd be close. And then in that case, you should lean towards folding, I would suppose, because very few people are gonna bluff 2 pot size, I suppose, unless they know Snowy. So it's a wash, because the people who do 2 pot size bet probably know Snowy. Okay, I'm looking at the range advice for player 2 on the pot size bet. It's betting all the aces, but that's Oh, yeah, obviously that's a flush because that's a flush board. So, flush 18%, 2 pair 33%, 1 pair 23%, and then high card is 25%. Let's look at 1 pair. Oh, ace. Okay. Well, looks like Snowy gets here. 75% of the time he beats me. So, interesting. So basically all the flushes, 18% are flushes. Ace high flush. Okay. Two pair. (33% of the time). So pot size bet for all the is 75% of the time he beats me, I think. Or actually no. Yeah, when he bets, he's got more than 75% chance of beating me. Two pair, ace five. He gets here with all of these. Ace four. All the aces. The 1 pair. He has some 9-8. 9%. Okay. All the aces are betting. Queen 10. So these are the misses. 25% miss. So let's look at the pot odds. As long as he has 1 pair, I'm losing. So these are the bluffs, 25% bluffs. He's got 25% bluff. And he's betting pot sized. So all the missed flush draws make up 25%, and the missed straight draw and missed flush draw make up his bluff range. And as long as he has 25% bluffs, so it was close. It was close as a fold. He has 25% bluff. Oh yeah, he's not betting all his aces either. Only some of the times he's betting the ace. And then he's 100% betting. He has to, in order to balance out his value range, which consists of flushes, 2 pairs, 1 pair, the ace. Then he has 25% bluffs, which is pretty balanced. I like that for a pot size bet. 25%. Let's do the math. Okay, I did the math. If he bets 1 pot size bet, I have to call 1 to win 2. So the pot is giving me 2 to 1. And so I need 33% equity. So if he's bluffing more than 33% at a time, but he's only bluffing 25% at a time in this scenario, which is interesting. They don't exactly match up because poker is not completely solved. So any bluff catch, basically, even if I had just a 5, I think. I should still call, see? Because all his betting range include an ace, and so I should call even with a 5. No, let's get rid of the 9. Okay, I should still call some of the time even with a 5, assuming that he's not betting a 9. Okay, and it's okay, so even with a 5 though, you could bluff catch, because all he's betting is the ace, and then the bottom of his value range include a pair of ace, and his bluffs are all missed draws, all air, as we saw in the player 2 section. So I'm getting used to how to use this thing. Pot size bet. Yep, 25% bluffs with no pair. Any pair he bets beats me. So that means any pair, anything that's not a pair that he's betting. I mean, yeah, he has showdown value with any other pair, or he doesn't have anything. Well, let's see. For his checking, for the 1 pair hands, he checks some aces, he checks some 9s, 8s, he checks the 5s for showdown value, any 5 he checks. So his betting range for pot size bets doesn't include any low pair. Because yeah, that makes sense. If he's got a pair of 5s, he's not betting pot to bluff. He's not turning his pair of 5s into a bluff. Even a pair of 8s into a bluff. So does he turn a... No, he doesn't turn a pair of 2s into a bluff either. There is no... Is there a 2 in his... Nope. He lets go of the deuces. He has no deuce in his paired hand that gets here on the river. So, it's a pretty cool hand.